Ahmed says, Luke, what is the meaning of ain't? And is it okay to use it? Is it only used in specific groups of people? It's a very good question. So when I was growing up, I was not allowed to use the word ain't. If I used the word ain't, my mother or my father or my grandmother would say, hey, don't say that. Say isn't or aren't, right? Well, what does it mean basically? And then what is the connotation? Basically, it means isn't or aren't, but it's considered to be more slang, very informal. And I would say it's used more in rural areas. Now, it depends on the context, okay? So who will use it? Who will not use it? When will they use it? Will I ever use it? If I'm quoting someone, I'll use it. If it's in a song lyric, I'll use it, okay? Because it is kind of slang. You'll hear it in some music. Country music uses it a lot. Hip-hop music uses it a lot because it's kind of useful, simple, casual, easy to say, one syllable. If I say it ain't good, it means it isn't good. If I say she ain't good, that means she isn't good, right? If I say we ain't good, it means we aren't good. So it's convenient, right? Because ain't means both isn't and aren't. Because if we say we aren't, then we have to make sure we are agreeing we is agreeing with aren't, right? If we say it isn't, then we have to make sure isn't is agreeing with it. We have to think about agreement. It's called subject-verb agreement. With ain't, we don't have to think about agreement. We can say ain't for everything, okay? But again, it has that casual, informal connotation. And a lot of people regard it as kind of lazy spoken English. And as I said, it's probably more common in rural areas, and you often hear it in country music and hip-hop music. Now, I'm not saying anything necessarily negative against it. It just gives that impression of being much, much less formal. It is slang. It is very casual English. So if you want to use it, fine, but you just have to know that that's the impression that it gives, that you're not trying to be very articulate when you say it. If you want to sound very articulate and thoughtful and careful and maybe more formal when you're speaking, then you'll probably use isn't or aren't. If you want to sound more casual, more relaxed, and maybe sometimes more trendy, I don't know, maybe, then you might say ain't, okay? As I mentioned before, I almost never say ain't. You probably won't hear me say, we ain't gonna do it, we ain't gonna do it. But there might be some situations in which I want to focus on that informal, casual feeling and make someone notice what I said, right? Make it pop out a little bit. Then I might use it for that effect. And I might also use it if I'm quoting something. Maybe I'm reading something. Maybe it's a song lyric from a country song or hip hop song or something like that. And I guess it could be in other genres of music too. It's just more commonly in those genres. So it's not that I won't say it. It's just that I generally don't. And one reason is because I'm an English teacher and I try to be as articulate as I can. So I don't say it because I don't want you guys to copy me and then say, hey, you don't sound very articulate. Someone says that to you. And then you say, where did you learn that? Or they say, where did you learn that? And you say, oh, my teacher Luke taught me that. And then I have to answer to that, right? So I'm trying to be the best possible example I can to you. And so for that reason, I choose to use isn't and aren't, but that doesn't mean you can't use ain't. It's just important to know what it feels like when you use it, the connotation of using it. That's it.